just like that, the lazy days of summer are winding down. And the start of the 2022-2023 school year is exactly a week away. Parents, we hope you're on the last leg of finalizing activities to make it a smooth start for your children. Students, we hope you'll take this week to get into the groove of going to school from Monday to Friday. That could mean retraining your bodies to get to bed early and getting up early than you've been doing these past 2 months. It could also take the form of going through your new textbooks to familiarize yourself with the information. Whatever form it takes, we wish you all a productive school year. Your Jamaica Magazine program continues with a word of advice, followed by the news.
If you are experiencing symptoms of the monkeypox virus, including fever, intense headache, swelling of the lymph nodes, back pain, muscle ache, lack of energy, and/or a rash on the skin, you must self-isolate immediately and call ahead to your health center or doctor before visiting. The virus may enter the body through broken skin, even if not visible, the respiratory tract, or mucous membranes, eyes, nose, or mouth, and has an incubation period of between 5 and 21 days. The spread of monkeypox may occur when a person comes into close contact with an infected animal, direct contact with monkeypox skin lesions or scabs of an infected person, contact with clothing or linen such as bedding or towels used by an infected person, and the coughing or sneezing of an individual with a monkeypox rash. Wear a mask, frequently wash hands, and practice physical distancing as part of the infection prevention and control efforts. For additional information on monkeypox, visit the Ministry of Health and Wellness website at moh.gov.jm or contact the local public health department.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Monday, August 29, 2022. Communities that use the Wakefield to Deeside roadway in Trelawney will soon benefit from a $200 million road upgrade. This is the first phase of the Falmouth to Springvale project, and the scope of the work includes debushing and trimming of banks, earthworks, cleaning of drains, repairing of potholes, and pavement works. At the recent groundbreaking, Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Everald Warmington, expressed delight that the program would be getting underway.
I know that this corridor links communities such as Martha Bray, Granville, Amherst-Smith, Bounty Hall, Tilston, Peru, Green Park, Friendship, Wakefield, Deeside, Drumilly, and Bunkers Hill. It is linked to the main town of Falmouth. The roadway also continues into Maroontown in St. James and into St. Elizabeth. Over time, the condition of the road section has significantly deteriorated, which has given rise to the need for rehabilitation works along this corridor.
It is expected that Phase 2, which extends from Martha Bray to Bounty Hall, will begin early in the next financial year with another $200 million projected cost. About 9,000 residents in 12 communities across Westmoreland now have access to improved water supply. This follows the recent commissioning of the $475 million Nonpareil Retirement Orange Hill water system. The project was executed by the National Water Commission, NWC, in collaboration with Rural Water Supply Limited, RWSL. The system is outfitted with 2 pumping stations and 2 storage reservoirs, as well as transmission and distribution pipelines. It has the capacity to supply 500,000 gallons of water daily, benefiting communities such as Whitehall, Mount Airy, Hog Haven, Orange Hill, sections of West End, Good Hope, Retirement, Little Bay, Revival, Brighton, Negril, and Cherry Hill. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Senator Matthew Samuda, says that apart from meeting long-standing needs, initiatives such as this positions the country to better adapt to shifting climatic conditions.
That helps you to prepare for the erratic rainfall that we know will come, because we will not be able to afford, with all that is to come with climate change, any leaks.
The minister encouraged the project beneficiaries to pay their water bills, pointing out that the revenue derived is needed for investments in improved service delivery.
You paying your bill on time means we continue to give it water. The reality is the cost of providing water is significantly more in many cases than what we receive in fees. So persons have to pay their water bills if we're to be reliable.
Residents of Priory and St. Anne are being consulted to give their feedback on a draft design for the development of the Priory or Fantasy Beach in the parish. Executive Director of the Tourism Enhancement Fund, Kerry Wallace, tells JIS News that 2 face-to-face consultations have been held with residents and stakeholders in the area. He says the design includes recommendations previously put forward by stakeholders.
It's an inclusive process of beach development that we hope that the community will feel that as government we are partnering with them, we are respecting their desires and needs and opinions and incorporating that into what we then build for the community.
The Priory Beach is among those being developed across Jamaica under the Tourism Enhancement Fund's Beaches Development Program. Mr. Wallace says its development is intended to create more economic activities for citizens. 960 unattached youth will be targeted to develop a range of marketable technical skills to join the labor force. This will be done through the reintroduction of the National Service Corps, which will take place this year through the Heart NSDA Trust. Managing Director of the Heart NSDA Trust, Dr. Tanisha Ingleton, made the disclosure at the JIS think tank on Friday, August 26.
Our youth will have a meaningful avenue in which they can now put their interest, and Jamaica will be the better for it.
Dr. Ingleton says the priority courses that will be targeted for youth to engage in are environmental management, geographic information systems, infrastructure and construction, document management, and digitization. 4 students from the Greenwich All-Age and St. Andrew Primary Schools are this year's recipients of Petrojam's PEP 5-year scholarship program. The initiative is part of the State Oil Refinery's outreach activities. The students will each receive scholarships valued at $60,000 annually to cover tuition and other expenses, as well as laptop computers. Minister of Science, Energy and Technology Darrell Vaz has lauded the initiative, which he says recognizes that no one with ability should be left behind because of their circumstances.
It is our responsibility to make sure that as the older ones, in every capacity that we fill, whether it is ministerial, whatever it is, whether it's a parent, whether it's a counselor, doesn't matter, that we do what we can do to help the less fortunate that have the potential to be successful in their own right and help others in their family in future generations.
Petrojam's General Manager Winston Watson says the company is committed to continue providing students with the support they need to take advantage of opportunities.
It is a vibrant program that has impacted many of our awardees' lives, among which are students who have experienced unfortunate situations in their young lives.
The students are required to maintain at least a B average, along with good records of discipline, attendance, and punctuality throughout their secondary school years. The scholarship program, which has so far benefited 49 students, was launched in 2006 to provide financial assistance to youngsters transitioning from primary to secondary school. And finally, Prime Minister Andrew Holness arrived in Trinidad and Tobago yesterday as a special guest for the Twin Islands' 60th anniversary celebration as an independent nation. Mr. Holness says he looks forward to celebrating with the people of Trinidad and Tobago as both countries strengthen their bonds of friendship and cooperation on the foundation of shared history. Mr. Holness has so far met with Prime Minister Keith Rowley and is expected to engage in bilateral discussions as well as meeting with the Jamaican diaspora. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
The tinting of your windscreen, cut it out. Public passenger vehicles, according to the Transport Authority Act, not supposed to have tints. I'm appealing to motorists out there. We have removed many plates because of fandangles that are on the motor vehicle. Colorful lights, red light, purple light, blue light, and these multicolored lights. Get them off. I've noticed some trends out there where there is different type of license plates on motor vehicles. Only the Jamaican issued driver's license plates are to be on the motor vehicles. Once you transport any passenger in a motor vehicle, ensure that they are buckled, whether they are on the front or they are on the back. The seatbelt gives people a fighting chance to survive the crash. Many people have died who never give themselves a fighting chance.
Government is serious about getting our students ready to participate fully in a digital society. Part of that thrust has seen the Ministry of Education undertaking a pilot coding in school program. Let's learn more about the initiative, which could already be at your school or coming to it in this academic year.
Computers, apps and websites are some of the true representations of today's highly digital world. But without coding, none of these electronic hard and softwares would be operational. Coding is simply the language of technology. It is the art of telling a computer what you want it to do by typing in step-by-step commands for it to follow. It's no secret that coding is required for all digital natives, and Jamaica is in on the action. In fact, our government is taking steps to introduce this necessary skill to students through its pilot Coding in Schools program. In a historic move, the Ministry of Education, in partnership with Amber Innovations Group Limited, introduced the Pilot Coding in Schools program.
The objective of the pilot program is to develop skills such as logical and critical thinking, problem solving, collaboration, teamwork, mathematics, and to instill confidence in kids through coding.
Under the program, classes in coding computer applications will be incorporated in the regular school curriculum.
The pilot program will be conducted across 20 schools with approximately 2,000 students. The classes are conducted for an hour and a half, twice in a week, and it will be for a period of 3 months.
Coding classes are currently being conducted through Zoom or Google Classroom, and the program is already getting great feedback.
This coding class has benefited me to learn more about the input and output devices so I could help my fellow classmates and to help me to understand more about the computer.
The coding training has allowed me to be more open-minded about the technological industry and the associated job opportunities. It has also helped me to develop problem-solving skills and expand my creativity.
I do understand things now I didn't know about the computer, and I know it will benefit me a lot in the future.
The Amber Innovations Group's online platform is being used to teach the students coding with instructor oversight. Participants also get a chance to practice coding concepts through activities on the company's online platform.
The Amber Group is delighted and excited that we have another opportunity to expand and transform how coding is taught across the island, and to realize a vision of making Jamaica the next Silicon Valley of this region. This partnership will result in students being engaged in coding from as early as 8 years old. Just think about what this means for these students and how we are transforming their outlook and ultimately their world.
Coding not only improves students' technical and soft skills, it ultimately equips them with the knowledge and mindset they need to be outstanding digital engineers of tomorrow.
Without coding, there wouldn't be any apps. And I like apps because I'd like to create my own fashion designing app, and coding will help me to do that.
I know that we won't really see the benefit of it like right now, but come back 5 years down the line and these students, you're going to be amazed at what they'll be able to do with the computers. They're talking about apps, creating apps, and all of that is going to be amazing because you're catching them at a point where their minds are so open to all this information, all this knowledge, and they will have so much power, believe it or not, in terms of understanding the computer, but also in terms of giving the computer instructions to do things, and it's going to be a wonderful feeling for these students.
It is the ministry's hope that over time, the program will grow to incorporate more schools and students.
Government is transforming its operations and processes to serve the citizens of Jamaica more efficiently, more effectively, and more equitably. One state entity committed to a more agile public service is the Ministry of Education. We learn more from Dr. Casson Troop.
Hey, good morning.
Hi, Dr. Chu, how are you doing?
I am fine, thank you.
I see that you're fine. I see that you're fine.
I am headed out though.
I see that. Well, we'll head out with you.
Okay.
So you can get ready, and we definitely will just be having a quick chat.
All right,
So
just give me a minute. I'll go and get my stuff.
You know what happened? I'll be following you.
All right, no problem.
I'll come with you. Dr. Troop, I know that everybody starts their day in a particular way.
Yes.
What would you say are your morning rituals, the things that you must do?
I'm an early bird. I get up early every morning. By 5 o'clock I am up and I listen to my morning inspiration. So I turn on my phone to Nationwide and get the morning spiritual inspiration. And then most times, not all the times, I go jogging with my husband to get my exercise in.
Tell us, what do you do?
Education is really about life, living, and my task really is to ensure we operate a smooth, effective education system that will enable our boys and girls to be their best selves. I have the best job in the world, but the most difficult.
Tell me the most difficult decision you've had to make this week, and you could probably share what the decision was.
Wow, I make tough decisions every day, especially when it comes down to resources, making the best use of resources for our country. Now, just yesterday, we have been meeting with the World Bank because we're looking at an education mission. And we have to decide on how to utilize the limited resources to treat with some capacity building for our teachers. Now, you know that the education system cannot surpass the quality of its teachers, but we have teachers in service and we have teachers who are considered pre-service. Now, I've had to make the decision with respect to who gets the resources. Do we improve the teachers who are being trained, or do we treat with those teachers who are currently in service? Now, that was most difficult because both categories of teachers are important to the transformation.
Dr. Chu, there are different things that inspire individuals. Who or what has inspired you lately?
You know, I'm really inspired by those with whom I work with and those that I serve. When the students do well in their areas of talent, when I watch the Boys and Girls Championship, when I watch the scholarship ceremonies, when I watch the students in their dance form and their art forms, that really and truly inspires me.
What is Dr. Troop's legacy in the public sector? What would that be? What does that sound like? What does that look like?
Wow, that's a big one. Really, what I would love to know at the end of my tenure as a leader, that all our educational institutions are performing above satisfactory. Now, that's a difficult task, but it is not impossible. Right now, I have 243 schools that are deemed unsatisfactory, and I am committed to seeing those schools move to satisfactory and then take them to good and excellent. That's the legacy I want to leave, because that means students are getting the best education program possible and getting the opportunity to become the best persons that they can be.
I'm sure with the demands of your job, you travel different places, you go different places. What's the most interesting place that your job has taken you to?
You know, I've been to China and I've looked at their education system as part of a study tour. And what was most impressive for me is the discipline of the students. Now, I got a chance to see the teachers moving away from the classroom into a planning session, and the students moved into self-directed learning. I'm really hoping for the day that we can see that happening in Jamaica, where our students can take self-directed learning to another level. That is going to be very, very important to maximizing and learning time and extending the learning support that our boys and girls need to become their best selves. So that's something that I found interesting, and I'm moving for that to be a part of Jamaica's education system.
Can you say anything in Chinese?
Xie xie. It means thank you. I learned that. That's the only thing I could say over there.
Recommend one book that you'd want everyone to read.
Well, you know, when I got the opportunity to lead the sector at this level, I figured I needed to improve in my leadership. So John C. Maxwell is one of my favorites. And so How to Lead Successfully, the 5 Levels of Leadership, that's a book that I'm reading. Now, to be honest with you, I don't get the chance to do it as much as I want, but I get to put in a few pages each night to examine my own style of leadership and how I can become better. Because to move this system is not about your positional power. It's really about the influence and how persons believe in your capacity to deliver and what that does for them. That's very important, and that's part of the levels of leadership that I'm taking myself on, and I will recommend that as a good book for any leader, because the truth is everything falls and rises on leadership.
Dr. Choop, this is where we say have a great day, and as you learned, share.
Thank you too, and I'm late for my meeting. Bye.
Have you heard? Electronic waste such as old telephones, computers, radios, or television sets can now be dropped off at any National Solid Waste Management Authority regional office or its head office at 61 Halfway Tree Road. For the disposal of other types of solid waste, check this next feature.
Every single day, every living thing creates waste. What's waste? It's any substance that we discard of or throw out after it has served its primary purpose. For example, after having the water in this bottle, I'll no longer need it, so the bottle becomes waste. Here in Jamaica, we create an average of over 8,000 tons of solid waste per day.
We, from time to time, do what we call garbage characterization survey. This is where we actually go island-wide and take samples of the garbage and look at what make up the garbage, what's the composition of the garbage.
Regardless of what makes up your garbage, if you don't dispose of them correctly, we'll contribute to air and water pollution, flooding, and diseases while influencing climate change. That's why today, we'll look at the different types of waste and the best ways to dispose of them. Well, lunch was good. Sorry you missed it, but I want to point out how much waste I created from just 30 minutes of eating. I have this empty water bottle, well, almost empty, a lunch box. I have napkins, a fork, and I have some leftovers. So far, I've created organic, recyclable, and solid waste. Other types of waste include hazardous and liquid. Let's go ahead and break them down while looking on how to dispose of each. Let's start with organic waste. Organic waste is any material that is biodegradable and comes from either a plant or an animal. Examples include paper, leftover food, leaves, branches, and livestock manure. Over time, organic waste eventually breaks down into fertilizer, but not if it goes to the landfill. That's not good. There it will produce methane, and high levels of methane can reduce the amount of oxygen in the air, which will affect our breathing. So, where should it go? Organic waste shouldn't go into your bin. Take it round a back and start a composting heap.
We believe that composting provides that excellent opportunity.
Composting is rather simple. cut the bottom from a container and place it directly on the ground in a cool or shaded location in your backyard.
First, we start with some grass from the lawn. I have some cardboard that I bought some things at the store and I got. This is cardboard. So I just cut it up and I throw it in.
Then add wood chips, fruits and vegetable waste, and animal waste from your cows or goats.
You need moisture, you need air.
Keep your compost moist and stir it regularly.
More.
We would produce the best soil nutrients for our flower beds, our farms, our little kitchen gardens. We will then be cutting back on expensive buying fertilizer.
Liquid waste includes fluids such as domestic wastewater, sewage, processed water, grease, or other liquids. Wastewater from doing the dishes, laundry, and showering are considered grey water and can be used in your garden. Hazardous waste can be liquid or solid. It includes all types of rubbish that are flammable, toxic, corrosive, and reactive. First things first, don't throw hazardous waste, whether liquid or solid, in your bin. Follow the labels on hazardous products for disposal instructions and buy the exact amount that you need. So if you use all of it, you really don't have any waste. You can flush some hazardous household wastes followed by plenty of water. This only applies though to hazardous household waste that can be neutralized by water. And when in doubt, reach out to the NSWMA. Solid waste is any tangible item that has already served its primary purpose and is discarded by individuals. This type of waste is commonly broken down into plastic, paper, metals, tins, ceramics, and glass. The good news is that most of the solid waste we create are recyclable and compostable. That's another reason it's important to separate your garbage. This way, you can create a compost heap with your solid organic waste and recycle bottles, furniture, and other solid waste. For those in terrible condition, drop them in your Jomadi and the NSWMA will be there on the double for them. And if you don't have a drum, the NSWMA will provide one under its Jomadi initiative.
So we are issuing you with your own drums. So you have control over your receptacles, don't it? So your garbage don't have to be littered all over the place.
Recyclable waste refers to all the items we can convert into products that are useful. These include my water bottle, solid items such as paper, metals, furniture, and organic waste. Well, you don't really dispose of recyclable waste. At least, you shouldn't. Reusing or upscaling is the way to go. We're all responsible for the waste we create, and by separating them and practicing proper waste disposal, we'll create a beautiful, safe, and healthy environment, doing our part to make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business.
That's how we close out Jamaica Magazine for today. We'll return tomorrow with another program packaged with you in mind. If you've missed aspects of today's show or want to catch up on all the major happenings coming out of Jamaica, visit our website, jis.gov.jm. On behalf of the entire team here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson, thanking you so much for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.